But let's welcome in our guest now. So this is Nicole Ghastin-Ketchem. She lives in Los Angeles, but Nicole, you were originally from northern Michigan?
Yeah, I grew up in Traverse City, Michigan.
So how long have you been in the LA area?
Since '99.
Okay, wow. And your area, has that been impacted by any of these wildfires?
No, other than smoke, and just everybody, everybody knows somebody who's lost their house, or apartment. Um, Everyone, Los Angeles is huge, and to just know that we all like my husband is a teacher at the high school here in Culver City. And there's like two teachers that have lost their homes, and this is way out in Altadena, and again up in the Palisades. Um, I'm an actor out here. One of my favorite casting directors. She lost her home in Altadena, and if any of you follow me on Facebook, she's the one that even took me and Mark's profile picture that I still use. She took it during the lockdown. Um, just like a kid I was coaching, their family, they lost their home. So it's just like to imagine the massive population that we have, and to know, like, I mean, I just rattled off like 4 or 5 people, and if I dig even a little deeper,
And
it's bad.
oh yeah, it's devastating. It's one thing to also see these articles, all the pictures and videos, but I'm sure it's a whole nother thing to see all these things happening in areas that you call home and areas that you are so familiar with. What has that been like for you?
Well, it's really surreal. What's happened is, again, the scale of how big Los Angeles is, in our community in Culver City, we did shut down. All the schools have been shut down for the last 2 days all over the Los Angeles area, but in some ways we really didn't need to, other than the air quality. So we're living our lives as it's going along, because we have our little communities, Culver City, or up in Glendale or in the Valley. But then you have people in these segments where an entire, like, all, like, what would be the size of Traverse City is decimated, or like Kalkaska or something. Imagine, like, because there's so many people here. So it's surreal, because like I can go to the gym today in Culver City, but then I travel, and they were only 10 miles away from us, just 10 miles up north to Malibu, to Palisades. And if you think about it again in relation to, if you follow like entertainment news, you think like, I mean, you can rattle off like Billy Crystal, John Goodman, Anthony Hopkins, Mandy Moore, whoever played Jack on This Is Us too. His Malibu house no more. And I mean, those are celebrities, but that gives you a sense of like, wow, how many people have lost their homes.
Right. And since
And
oh, sorry, go on.
oh, and the Palisades, yes, they have the more of celebrities, so we're learning about that. But in Altadena, those are homes that were passed down to kids. Those are like people that, working class people that bought those properties in like the 90s or late 80s. And this was their retirement. And luckily, you probably know that a lot of people had their fire insurance wasn't extended. But it has been restored to 2026 for those people. So that's good, because I mean, those people would have really lost anything because insurance had pulled out just like last month or last couple months.
Right. So it's always good to hear some good news with all the devastation happening there in California. But since you have been in the LA area for 25, 26 years, have you ever seen any sort of weather event like this before?
Oh, Lord, no. No. I mean, I came just later, since the Northridge earthquakes that were pretty bad. And we've had fires, but usually they were like way up north, and we would hear about them, would be sad, and we would, very tragic and upsetting, but never where it was like in an urban area.
Yeah.
Never where you had the coastline in Malibu, and like all of these restaurants that we just know that's always been there, all wiped out. The ocean is right there, and all along, all of like a strip of land, like how the embers flew. And we've never seen such gusts of Santa Ana winds. Santa Ana winds are warm winds. It's almost like when you like we have Bay Effect snow. Here we have Santa Ana winds. And it's just like a weather pattern thing. And in those Santa Ana winds, they're really warm. These were gusts, like a hurricane gusts, like close to a hurricane. So imagine warm air, and those embers were flying, and they would just catch fire over here, catch fire over there. Once it started, and it started in the Palisades, it was a backyard, it was an accidental fire in the backyard. It wasn't an arson there. It was just somebody accidentally, and I don't know the actual specifics, but that's where they say it started. So that just made it spread, and it was surreal how warm and gusty. Like we actually we opened a window a little bit. We were afraid like the window was gonna like blow in. So that's what made it happen like that.
And then, growing up in northern Michigan, sure, we have our snowstorms every now and then. A couple years ago, we had the Gaylord tornado. So every now and then, some pretty crazy storms, but sounds like nothing like what you folks are experiencing in Los Angeles right now.
No, I mean, it's like like my daughter never really has been able to experience a snow day. And so she had like this fire day, but it's just like in my mind, I'm thinking, my God, on a snow day, yeah, there could be accidents and things like that. But yeah, on a fire day, it's like homes, and it's just awful.
And I know there's a lot of folks all around the country who want to help in any way they can. For folks watching here in northern Michigan, do you know of any ways that we can help?
You guys mentioned the Salvation Army, and I always that is like the most trusted institution. If you go like on my Facebook page or whatever, you see some GoFundMe's. But I think kind of keeping it to those trusted places to donate. Anything with the firefighters here, they're just incredible. That's the other thing. Can I just say one demystifying thing?
Yeah.
When they're talking about the water hydrants not being whatever, there's a lot of rumors going around, a lot of finger pointing. When it's sad that there's anything political going on, but for fires, those are for urban areas. For fires that are wildfires, really the only way to get them is to come from the air and drop water down. They can do what they can, but that's like hand-to-hand combat in an army for those firefighters to do it. But it's the overhead, and they're incredible. The dropping water and such for the wildfires.
And I know since we're kind of still in the thick of things, it's hard to even think about recovery, but how long do you think it will take to rebuild all of these communities?
I thought about that, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's like, especially in the Palisades, it's like everything. So I have no idea. I mean, that was like one of my favorite places to go hike, and there's a beautiful theater there, the Will Rogers. It's just, I don't know.
Is there anything else that you want to mention, Nicole, about what you are seeing, your experiences in LA?
No, I mean, other than it's been a really, really hard few years. We're an industry town. We're like Detroit, but it's movies. And between the strikes and COVID and the contraction, them pulling back, we were just starting to, like this year, we were like, stay alive till 2025. And I just seen like breakdowns and things, like the business was starting to pick up. And so just, if you can donate and just, pray for us. And, a lot of the guys, there's a lot of guys like in Altadena that were crew that are like the gaffers and, the cameramen and everything. Mm-hmm. they've had to already, they've been through so much the last couple of years, losing their 401ks and everything. And to have this happen, it just, actors were used to being out of work and, and just scrambling. But I just, that it's like one thing after another for the business here too.
Well, Nicole, our hearts certainly go out to you and everyone else in LA County right now. And thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your experiences. And stay safe out there. And as Nicole mentioned, there are plenty of resources. I know sometimes being so far away from a disaster like this, you do feel a little hopeless, like there's not much that you can do to help. But as Nicole mentioned, there are different ways to donate. We do have links on our website. Nicole mentioned some different GoFundMes on her Facebook page. So if you can, I would definitely consider donating and helping out in any way you can.